Creating with Colleen Magnus, and I appreciate you being here. So it has been a crazy morning already. Not crazy, it's been a great morning, but you know how I always say, you take a break and watch me create? I think this morning I can take a break and watch you create. But it's been a great morning. I was up at 6 o'clock because today is Stampin' Up. They are having free shipping for one day only. So if you didn't know that, yes, today, Wednesday the 18th only, free shipping on all orders that are $75 or more. And you can order on my blog at creatingwithcolleen.com. But I had Stamp Club orders I wanted to get in, got all those in. Just doing other orders. We have our World Card Making Day event on October 5th, and everybody's getting free product with that. So I got that order in. And thankfully, by the blessings of my stamp clubs, my team, I haven't checked my report yet, but I should have just earned the 2025 Disney incentive trip from Stampin' Up. So that less than 1% of the demonstrators achieve that. I have to tell you that. They make me. It's the law. But also, it comes from hard work, but also the blessings of wonderful customers and wonderful team members that I have been blessed with for the last 23 years. Really is an amazing ride. And I love this company. I love what I do, and I appreciate you being here. So give a shout out as you come on. I could see you, but I got to take a deep breath. Okay. The other thing I've been doing all morning is creating. If you know me, then I do my best work at the last minute. But basically, I wanted to show you a card that I did last week, but doing it a different way. So it's the same, believe it or not, the same measurements that I'm going to use, but I also wanted to do it with a different opening and with a different bundle. So normally I finish like about 20 to 30 minutes before I have to go live. Today it was literally 1 minute. 1 minute by the time I ran downstairs, throwing some lipstick, and I just trying to do some yoga breathing. Deep breaths so that I can not feel, you don't want to feel like you're drinking out of a fire hydrant as I'm talking the whole time. But anyways, I'm glad you're here. So let me boot up. Let me see who is here. And again, if you're here, give a shout out. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm live. So I am going to turn the camera down. I am excited to show you this card today. It's a lot of fun. So hold on. Y'all know the fire drill. All right, and I always hope that I don't hit any extra buttons. Nothing like turning yourself off or getting it all messed up. Okay. Whew. Let me take a deep breath. Tink, hey, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're watching live. Missed you at Stamp Club yesterday. I hope you can come next month. Hey, Barb, how did Moose like his gift? Barb is definitely a dear customer of mine, and her husband is one of my biggest supporters. So I found the gift for him yesterday that I think and I hope he loves. Mary Kay, I'm glad you're here. Cloudy, Maryland, yes. Cloudy here in Virginia. Lots of rain, which I know some places wish they had rain from a drought, but it hasn't been a washout, so that's okay. Lynn, I'm glad you're here. Susan, you're here. You're sorry you missed the mystery stamping event last night. I am too, but you're going to get a glimpse of it today. Hey, Diane and Carol from South Carolina. The other Carol from Connecticut. Judith, Kay. Kay's either traveling to go camping or coming home from camping. Safe travels, Kay. Thanks for watching that one. Gwen and Deborah. So, oh good, Deborah's in Virginia Beach. You're right around the corner. So let me, where's my mouse? Let me just scroll through here. Oh, he loved it. Good. Very good. Okay, so I am going to show you what we did last week, and then I'm going to show it so even if you have seen this card from being on my team, you will go ahead and see a new one today. I like to switch it up. So last week, you can see it on my Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube under the lives, the streams. I created using the Autumn to Remember stamp set. This is from the new scrapbooking line that Stampin' Up! Has out, and you can see all the catalogs right there on my blog. So I used this set, and I loved it, and we created this card. So you have this card. The designer paper is from the scrapbooking set too, and it opens like such. So just a fun card. Different fold, but very simple fold. So you can see how that looks like that. So then last night with my team, I stamped this card. So the same card basically, but I used a window sheet. So you open it like this. So, excuse me, oh, excuse me, y'all. I got a tickle. Let me get me a cough drop. I think I have one in my purse. Out of the blue, it's not like I have a cold or anything. Might have to call my husband in from the garage to help me. Oh, I got one, honey. I'm good. So I'm sorry. That's just what happens when you're live. All right. Going forward. It looks the same. Then when you open this, you've got your window sheet. And the cool thing is it will stand up. So some people like to display them standing up. This one you would kind of have to put in a stand. So last night I created with my team. We do it by Zoom because it doesn't matter where you are in the United States. We can get together and create. And we made this one and this one. But I just give them the dimensions and tell them what to cut. So everybody creates something different, but it's the same type of card. And that's really cool because then we put them all on our team Facebook page and share the ideas. So since I already did a video on this last week, you can see, I'm going to show you how to use this Do It With the Window sheet. Hey, Mary and Deborah. Oh, good. So Deborah lives in Deep Creek. Very good. So here we have these two. Again, I wanted to do a different version. So I have the mini catalog here, and on page 42, you have this decorative trees bundle. And it really lends itself to creating a lot of different type of Christmas trees. So this is what the stamp set looks like. And it's very cute. It is a photopolymer stamp set. You have these, the trees here. You have your sayings. But the dies are the star of the show. So these are the dies. And I hope I have them all. This is what I was doing this morning too. But what is so cool is you have the solid tree. And I've got some other techniques I'll be doing with this in the future. My bingo card actually features it, but I don't want to be a spoiler alert before Friday night. So you'll see it after that, probably next week. But here you have all these dies and they can layer on top of this tree, or you can leave them separate like that. And what's great about this one here is if you, let me see, I had some samples here. If you put the dot, I don't know if you could see this, I cut from a gold foil, the solid tree, and then from the glimmer paper, I did this green tree. If you put it on top, let's see if you can see that, watch my screen. You have all these beautiful gold dots behind it. You could even do like red. If you had red, that would shine through. So you don't have to put all those little dots on, just put one on the other and you are good. And kind of the same thing here. If you have a solid green tree and you put the plaid tree on top, you have another real pretty variation of the trees. So they're interchangeable, which is very cool. Then you also have the garland to go on the tree. You have the bow, you have ornaments, other little bows. You have the tree trunks. So just a great, great bundle to create with. So that's what I have been doing this morning. So this is a card that I'm going to show you how to make. And you're also going to get some tips and tricks on how to adhere the glitter and cutting it. And how to put your window sheets on where you don't see any glue. Because you think vellum is tricky. A window sheet, you're going to see right through it. So I'm going to teach you how to do that right there. So the other, if you're wondering where this glimmer paper is coming from, it is, oh, Sandy said she just ordered this bundle. She can't wait. Good. You've got a good idea here then. Yeah, Gwen's going to order today. Thank you so much. Thanks, Gwen. And y'all do know that free shipping is going to come in handy. So this card here, What I'm using, this is called Festive 12 by 12 Glimmer Paper, and it's Cherry Cobbler, Garden Green, and Granny Apple Red. So everybody likes their bling. So you get 2 of each. There's your Cherry Cobbler, your Garden Green. I'm sorry, Garden Green right there. And in here, Granny Apple. So those are the 3 colors that you get, 2 sheets of each. Lots of cardstock to do your creating with. I'm also using, we have an online exclusive called Iconic Imagery. And with that is a 6x6 pack of designer series paper called the Iconic Celebrations. So it's a 6x6 pack. But what I always liked about this was that it's multi-seasonal. So you also have dies that go with it. But you have snowflakes, leaves, Christmas trees, candles, and you can see that in the paper too. So whether you want birthday or anything, you can create with that. And I almost use that because I love that big word celebrate. And if you look here, the word celebrate would fit in between the measurements I'm going to give you too. So let me show you how to create this. Oh, my heart is finally slowing down. Now we can go. Literally, I always feel like in my life, I always say I feel like a baseball player sliding into home plate. I feel like it's always the last minute, but as long as I'm called safe, it's all good. And it really is. So here I have 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. And I'm going to score this at 1 3/4 and 7 1/4. I'm sorry, I'm going to score it at 1 3/4 and cut it at 7 1/4. Then I have, and I did take a picture, so I will get this over to Facebook and put it on my Creating with Colleen Facebook page, the picture of the dimensions. But here's basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have 2 sheets of the Iconic Celebrations Designer Series paper. This is 4 by 1 1/2. This is 4 by 2. I have a piece that is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2 of that Festive Glimmer paper. And I have, let's see, my little measurement fell off of that, a 4 by 3 inch piece of window sheet. And if you've never used Stampin' Up! Window sheets, they're really awesome. So get you some. There's so many techniques you can do with them. But today I'll just kind of do this window card to show you. Now, when I cut, let me put these here. When I put this on here, that's going to be a little tricky if you try to glue it. Not that you can't do it with liquid glue if you have a light hand, but it's best to use these Sizzix adhesive sheets that we sell. So this is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2 inch multi-purpose adhesive sheet, and I'm going to show you how to use that with your glimmer paper. So this way your adhesive is already on there, and then it makes creating so much easier. So take a screenshot or give me a little time and we will put it over on my business Facebook page. Okay. Now I get ahead of myself, so I actually wrote myself directions in doing this because you have to stamp the inside before you actually start putting on your designer paper and everything else. So when I did, let me get my cutter here. When I first did this card, just like this red piece, it's 4 1/4 by 9 1/2, and I actually scored it at 1 3/4 and 7 1/4, and that's what gave me the look. On this piece, it's still the same thing, only what I'm going to do, let me show you. Seeing is believing, right? I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. Just like I did the first one. But then at 7 1/4, instead of scoring it, I'm going to cut it. So that's the only difference. On this one, I scored it like that. But on the other one, I cut it. So once I put my window sheet in here and I attach this on the bottom, That's what's going to make this open. So let me fold this. I'm going to give this a good score. So you have to stamp inside first, because if not, you're just going to have to eyeball it, and you might not get so lucky that way. So what I'm doing is I have put this down, kind of where it's going to be in here. I'm going to close that, and I'm just going to take this and put it on the bottom. So that's going to give me my window of opportunity where I want to stamp. Then I'm just going to take a little pencil here, do a little bit of a line. I really don't even have to go all the way across because my tree's going to cover some of that. But now I have my spacing to know where to stamp. If you already had your window sheet in there, you wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm going to take Season's Greetings. I really should pull this table closer to me. Kind of tricky right now. And you know what? If you have a hard time seeing white on white, you can take these little foam pads, because it is photopolymer, so it gives you a little bit extra cushion. But it really makes that white pop out, which is what this old girl needs. So I'm just going to come over here, straight down, straight up. I've got my Season's Greeting. And I don't know what has happened to our erasers. When we were kids, we always had that number 2 eraser with the orange, the pencil with the orange eraser, and it erased great. Any ones that I try, it's like they smudge. So these are great. This is just by Bic. It's a 7mm pencil, and the white eraser will not leave any smudges at all. Maybe my pencils are old. Maybe they're from when I went to school. I don't know. Could be crazy. Could be crazy. Okay. So as I said, you want to hide the window sheet. So let me grab my window sheet. They are easy to lose. Again, it's 3 inches by 4. You want it going with 4 inches at the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on here, and then I'm going to put my designer paper on the top so you don't see the glue. I think normally people want to put it like this, and if you do, you're going to see whatever glue you have underneath. I like to hide those things. So here I'm just going to take on the front, and I'm going to go up just a little bit because you are going to see about 1/8 of an inch. But I will take this when I put it on. Just make sure when you're eyeing it, I make sure it's straight on the side. And y'all know the fire drill. Don't ever push down until it's where you want it. Then I will take this, kind of do the same thing. Come down a little bit. I'm going to flush this on the bottom. Make sure everything is nice and even, and just shut that. So I have the mechanism of my card here, as you can see. But now I can put on the designer series paper. And nobody will ever know, except y'all, because you watch my videos. Okay, so who out there has created with window sheets before? Give a shout out. Again, there's tons of techniques that you can do. Many, many, many techniques. This is just one of them, but this is one of my favorites. So it takes always a minute to see the comments. But if you haven't done window sheets, who's going to give it a try? Like my teacher said, it's easy once you know how. Y'all have heard me say that time and time and time again. So now that I have this, I can put this in the middle. Oh, Gwen's going to try it. Very good. Mary Kay has done it. Deborah has done it. Diane, you're welcome for the tip on the window sheet. Again, I don't know of any adhesive that you wouldn't see through an adhesive sheet. They say they have some adhesives that work for vellum. I still think if you can hide it, it's always best. Georgia, I'm glad you're checking in from Arizona. Okay, good. I'm glad y'all will be trying it. So that's pretty much how you do the card itself. But now for the tree. Let me show you how awesome that these dies are. Okay, so I do want to show you how I cut the tree. So for the tree, one of the things that I did when I first, let me show you what's here. When I first put it on, I had this green, hold on, I haven't used it in so long, I gotta look at the color. Soft Seafoam. This was Soft Seafoam. And it was almost too light. I wasn't really a fan of it. So what I did was I took the Soft Seafoam and then I took some Old Olive. And I just sponged the edges a little bit. Okay, let me see. There we go. Lost y'all for a minute there. And the reason I did this was just to kind of warm it up just a little bit. So it wasn't just too, too flat. Flat is good for some things like your stomach, but it's not for this. Okay, so just to soften it up, but I still left it quite light in the middle. So I'll set this aside. Now, when I go to use my glimmer paper, one of the things I want to do is use it with this adhesive sheet, because then when I pull this off, the adhesive is already on there. So here, let me see. Hey, Jane, I'm glad you're with me. Oh, I'm glad you like the card. You should be receiving your mini catalog by the end of the week, because I mailed it Monday. So she has seen it online, but we all know there's just nothing better than holding a catalog in your hands. So here we have the glitter over there, and I'm putting this on the back. So I peel this off, and all of this is sticky. So here I'm just going to put it on the back of my glimmer paper and go ahead and push that down really well. So now let me grab my die cutting machine. Put my adhesive up for a minute. It always looks like a bomb went off when I get done creating. So here, y'all know to keep your dies in the little magnetic plates that you can get at, oh my goodness, Walmart, any of the auto sections, because it's supposed to be for screws and nails. But let's face it, we know it's really for our dies. So here, I'm going to take my die cutting machine. And one of the things I'm going to do, since I am cutting through the adhesive also, I'm going to put a little shim in there. So I'm going to use my #1 base plate, my #2 die cutting plate, and then my acrylic plate. But what I want to do, just to make sure, it's going to be tight, but I want it nice and tight anyways, because that's a lot of little intricate pieces. I'm going to put a shim down. And that isn't much of a shim, although I know cardstock is amazing and thick, but it's just going to help to push this into that glitter paper and through the Sizzix paper. Then I'm going to put my acrylic plate on top, and I am going to just crank it through. Again, nice and tight, holding it at a weird angle. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go one more time. So, let's go one more time because we can. Okay. So then when I take this, and I pull this out, and I pull this out of my die, you're going to see the pieces on the back. So let me get this here. What I want to do is just pull this paper off. So if you've got a good little sharp object, get that out of there. I can pull this, and if you push down really good first, hopefully most of those little pieces will stay in there. Chances are you're going to have to pull some out, but it's still well worth it. So I'm going to just pull this up. It's real tiny, which is why you want to have this adhesive sheet. So there is my piece. And technically, as I said, most of the pieces stayed in here. And I actually thought, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. If you could get all of your pieces to stay in there, wouldn't that be a cool treat? So I will just poke these other little ones out here. And they do come out really easy. But I think using that extra shim, I think that's the trick. And it is already sticky on the back because all that peeled off. So I think I'm gonna get those two pieces and I think we're good. And that one piece. Okay, so now I'm going to take my tree, and I find it is easiest, and y'all forgive my shaking hands, 11:15, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even had breakfast. So I went down and ate a bowl of cereal, but you don't worry though, I did have my 3 cups of coffee. Sadly, it always shows. Okay. So when I have this, I think it's easiest just to start at the top, and I'll just push it down, try to get it unstuck from my fingers. And then I just pull it to the edge of the tree and push it as I go, because it is a little flimsy. One thing I wanted to do first, and I can still do it. Okay. So I should have done this before, but I'm okay. It does have a little brown trunk that I can put on there, but y'all know I have trouble with little. My fingers don't always want to do them. So I have one of the Marvelous markers. You could also use one of your blends, but I'm just going to hold that up, and I'm going to cheat and just color this in. It's okay to cheat in stamping. It really, really is. Just don't want to cheat on your taxes or on your marriage. Those things you cannot do. So I have that. And I'll just keep going around, make sure that it's all on the edge. And once I have that where I want it, then I like to turn it over and really push down good so that all that adhesive can go on your tree. So who has used adhesive sheets before? They really are a lifesaver when you're trying to glue something together like this. They are great for that. And again, you can just take your sheets and you can actually put that all across another piece of cardstock, a large piece of cardstock, and then cut it. So see, I made one as a backup just in case it didn't work. But I think it worked pretty well. Okay. So to finish my card, I'm going to have to put on a gold star. So I have one of those, and I'm going to use my mini glue dots. Yes, Georgia says that mini adhesive sheets are the best. They really are, Georgia. You know, I didn't use them a lot in the past, but I find I'm using them more and more because we have beautiful detailed dies and you have the words, and it's just so much easier when you're using them. So let me think. Let me see. Sometimes you can cut upside down and it cuts through. Thanks, Georgia. I will give that a try too. That's a great tip. Very good tip. Okay. So Susan, you've never used them, but now you know how. So that is cool. So this here will go on top, just a little glue dot. And I will put my star on here. And again, I created, not this card, but the fall card with my team. Because as I said, we create every third Tuesday on Zoom. And we have a lot of fun doing it. So here I'm just going to put, I'm going to put it kind of high. And I'm going to put these a little bit lower because you want to make sure you're not seeing this through your window on the other side. If you do, let's face it, it's not a big deal. But you know, you try to get it right if you can. So here, I will just put my tree like so. Push it all down. And that, my friends, is your window sheet card. So that's how you will take it from this. Let me get it again. From this to this, exact same dimensions, only instead of scoring here, you cut and put it back on with the window sheet. So I did promise you that I would give a card away from last week. So Linda Lace, I think that's how you say your name. Linda, you liked and shared my YouTube channel. I think you also subscribed, and I appreciate that. But if you send me, it could be a private message, email, you can contact me through my blog, send me your address. I will be more than happy to drop this card in the mail to you. Thank you so much, Linda. So everybody who likes, subscribes, gives me a thumbs up, please. I will give this card away next week. So, but put in the comments that you did like or subscribe so that I know, or a thumbs up. But don't forget, Stampin' Up! Has that free shipping today on orders that are $75 or more. So great savings. And oh my goodness, bingo is full. So that's a good thing. We're going to be doing that Friday night. And next week I'll show you what my bingo project was. Because some of you on here are coming to bingo. And again, I don't want to spoil it. So thank you all for being here, for your support. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter or order any products or see other videos and all the catalogs, you can go to my creatingwithcolleen.com blog. But just know I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, no matter where you are. And if it's cloudy and rainy, just stay home and create. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.